VitalCenter is an application that allows you to get access to your patient charts and scheduled appointments during an Allscripts TouchWorks EHR downtime. There are two methods to access VitalCenter. The first way is to go to a specific PC within your clinic that has the local installation of the VitalCenter application. And the second method to access VitalCenter is to go to any PC within your clinic that has Internet Explorer installed and to access the web URL provided by your practice manager. Once you've accessed the web URL provided by your practice manager, you can log into the VitalCenter WebAccess application with your computer login name. Note that this is not your TouchWorks username, but this is the username that you use to log into your PC on any given day. Once you log into the application, you have the ability to search for and select a provider from this drop-down in the top right hand. You have the ability to simply type the provider's name, or you can hit the drop-down and select an individual provider. Note here that we have dates that are highlighted in gray. These are dates that we have appointment data for a particular provider. So as I click on December 23rd, what we'll see is all the appointments for provider Jill Adams on December 23rd. As we look at this appointment list, we see that I have the patient name, the time of the appointment, patient demographics, the reason for visit, as well as the type of visit. One thing I'll note is that this is a test system, so this is not live patient data. I have the ability to access any patient data here by simply highlighting the appointment or the patient that I have in the office. So I've double-clicked on Ronald Fisher. We'll wait for the chart to load. Notice that once the chart is loaded, we'll see some basic chart information for the patient. So we see basic demographic information related to the patient. Notice here that we see the problems that we would typically see within the clinical desktop problem viewer in TouchWorks EHR. That includes all the different types of categories of problems that we would see within the EHR. Our next section here is our allergy section, so we'll see any allergies that were documented within the EHR as well. As I scroll to the next page, we'll note that I'll see active medications, so any current medications that are listed for the patient, including the medication name, the dosage, SIG, the day supply, quantity, and number of refills that were prescribed, the date that it was last prescribed, who it was prescribed by. Additionally, we'll see the 6 most recent sets of vitals. We'll see the 4 most recent sets of shot for the patients. Below, we'll see the recent results for the patient. So when we say recent results for the patients, what we'll really see here is the 2 most recent encounters of results for that patient. If there were any outstanding orders for the patient, we'd be able to see those current orders available here. And then what I'll do is we see that we have our notes header here, but I'll go ahead and move on to the next page. And I'll show you here that we have an example of a note that we'll be able to see. So typically what we'll show within VitalCenter is the 6 most recent notes for the patient. So within those 6 most recent notes, we'll show the 2 most recent notes from the scheduled provider. We'll show the 2 most recent notes from the scheduled provider specialty, and then we will also show 2 additional recent notes from the patient. So VitalCenter does have the ability to display up to 6 recent notes for the patient. I'm going to go ahead and skip all the way to the end of the chart because I want to display the last field within the chart, which is the appointment section. So within the appointment section, I have the ability to see any recent appointments that the patient has been in for, or any upcoming scheduled appointments that the patient will be coming in for in the near future. Now that we have looked at the patient's history, what we have the ability to do is use this new Vital Note tab to actually create a piece of documentation for this visit. So as I click on that new Vital Note tab, what will happen is I'll be presented with this workspace here. I have the ability to select the type of note or type of visit that we're seeing the patient for today, and I have the ability to have free text information in each of these sections. If we have any providers out there that are using Dragon voice recognition, the Dragon software will work with this application here. Once I've finished documenting my note for the day, I can go ahead and hit the commit button. By hitting the commit button, this will take this documentation and put it into the patient's chart viewer within the TouchWorks EHR. One thing that we'll want to note here that's really important is at this time, users do not have the ability to navigate away from this page if they have unsaved data. So if I hit the back button or if I need to go back to the chart, I will lose any data that I have saved on this Vital Note section here. So we definitely recommend that any physicians working or any care providers working on their notes complete their notes within this section here within their current session and actually commit it. So we've looked at how to access provider schedules, how to access patient charts. The next thing I want to talk about is our on-demand feature. So within our on-demand feature, this allows us to look up any patients that might not have a scheduled appointment for that day. So the real use case for this is, let's say that you have a walk-in patient that isn't on the schedule for that day. You can use the on-demand functionality to search for any patient here. So I'll just go ahead and search for this patient by name. We'll see here that I have 2 entries returned, and I can simply double-click on the patient to see their chart. One thing I will note is that if users would like to see scanned images for patients, we will have to update these fields down here. So if I click on the Scan tab, I'll need to indicate that I want to show the scans when I get this patient's chart. I'll go ahead and double-click on this patient, and what we should end up seeing as the system is compiling this chart is if this patient does have scanned images, we will show them. So the chart has been generated, and we notice that we have all the same information that we had when we looked at a scheduled appointment. One thing I will note here is through the on-demand functionality, we do have the Scans tab enabled, so I can go to the Scans tab and I'll be able to see recent scans for that patient's chart. I can simply double-click on this, and I can view the scan image in the same way that I would be able to view it within the TouchWorks EHR. Notice that if I scroll down, I have the ability to scroll through the number of pages if it's a multi-page scanned image. Again, within the on-demand functionality, we do have the new Vital Note capabilities. So if you do have a walk-in patient that you've selected their chart from the on-demand functionality, you can again use this new Vital Note tab to create any documentation for that visit. So that concludes the brief tutorial for the WebAccess version of VitalCenter. A couple things I will recap here is I want to note that the VitalCenter WebAccess portion is only utilized through the web. So again, you've got 2 ways to access VitalCenter. You can either go to a computer where VitalCenter has been locally installed, or you can go to any computer and use the URL given to you by your clinic manager to access the VitalCenter in this manner.